And we're rolling. What's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another episode of the Crossroad TCG podcast. This time, I've got the young Badman himself with me, Brandon Scott. How you doing tonight, Brandon?
What's up, man? I'm doing great. How about you?
Good. You just came back from locals, right?
Yes, I did.
How'd that go?
It was cool. We were just messing around with different decks and stuff.
Nice. Just some different, like, obviously still set 4 decks, right? And, like,
Yeah.
you got any events coming up soon?
Yeah, shop championship. I was gonna go to one Saturday, but I made other plans, so I'm gonna go to my local one Sunday. I'm probably gonna be playing Mono Blue Soul Striker. That's what I was testing tonight.
I love it. Oh, man. I'm so, like, anyone who knows my channel knows that I'm like a Soul Striker fanboy, and I've seen several Soul Striker profiles in yours too. He's just such a dope leader. Like, oh my goodness.
Definitely.
How'd you do at locals tonight? What'd you play?
I played against Jackie Chun. That went pretty well. I had a lot of negates for when he tried to attack my Vegito.
For sure.
Uh,
Oh, you played the Mono Blue Soul Striker tonight, right?
yeah.
Got you.
And play against Veggie deck. That went pretty well. And play against Mass Saiyan. That one went pretty well too.
Dude, is it just me, or like, do you just love the fact that like the meta can be so diverse right now?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, the SS3 ban. We can talk about that another day. But
Oh no, we'll talk about it now for sure.
yeah, I definitely agree with it going forward. The leader would just never not be relevant, in my opinion. Like, untapping 3 energy, there's nothing you can do to make that bad. So, like, he would just be played forever if they didn't do anything about it. That's my opinion on it.
Dude, I completely understand and agree. Like, so many people bring up the fact that like there's a lot of energy ramp hate coming out, like with Dende and the Force Ejection Mass Hand and the Piccolo and all that. It's like, yeah, those cards are good and probably somewhat needed, but they're not. That's not going to be the silver bullet to SS3. Like the untapped 3 at the end of the turn is what's going to do it. Me and my testing team have talked about this. Like, the way if SS3 was to come back, you would just play SS3 game 1. You play it normally because no one's really going to main deck Dende realistically unless SS3 takes over again, right? So like game 1 is SS3. You play normally. You activate your leader's effect. You charge 2, whatever. You do your thing. You probably win game 1. Game 2, you just play a normal game. You don't charge with your leader effect. You just charge normally. Your opponent's Dendes are all dead, and then once you awaken fast, just like every other deck in this game can awaken fast right now because there's so many awakening tools. You still get that crazy effect of untapping 3, and like, yeah, you don't get a turn ahead, but you still get one of the most insane effects in the game. So I totally agree with the ban. Like, I woke up to that this morning and I was super happy. Last night I was talking to my testing team and I was like, guys, so how bad does SS3 come back and just poop on everything? Like, I was just so worried about it, but this morning was awesome.
Yeah.
So
That'd be good, especially for nationals. So now I know I don't have to test against any SS3 decks.
yeah, so you're gonna be going to Nats, right?
Yep.
Got your invite at Atlanta Regional, right?
Yep. 28th.
That's awesome, man. It's gonna be cool to meet you. I mean, I've wanted to do stuff like this for a long time, like collab with other channels. I'm a big fan of your channel, so
Thank you.
yeah, no problem, man. It's like I definitely want to do a lot of stuff like this in the future. Just basically whatever we can do to like grow the community and get in touch with everybody we can. I see you posting on Facebook all the time too. You're very open to talking with new players, and your opinions are always very well thought out. So I definitely appreciate that, especially as as a member of the community.
Thank you.
Oh.
I'm a big fan of forums. Like, I was on Pojo a lot back in the day. I don't know if you know that.
So which one?
Pojo.biz.
Oh yeah. I used to go on Pojo for Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yep. Same, so did I. So, like, I was a big fan of forums, and like pretty much Facebook is the closest thing we got to a forum. So.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people talk about this is actually an interesting topic. I think a lot of people talk about like the DBS community being very quote unquote toxic, and you know, that whole thing. I mean, so before we get into this, what card games do you come from before this?
Okay, so when I was a kid, I played Yu-Gi-Oh. I tried to play that as pretty seriously as I could without a job.
That's an expensive game to get into.
Yeah, absolutely. I played Magic for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Then I moved on to Pokemon. I was playing that one competitively, tournaments and stuff. I did okay. I thought I was a decent player, but I never really placed well enough in any tournament. Then I started playing DBS, and this game was strikingly similar to Duel Masters, and like
I keep hearing that, but I never played Duel Masters.
yeah, it's a lot similar with the life mechanic and the energy mechanic are very good. They're in dual masters.
Mm-hmm.
This game has a leader, which kind of adds a different dynamic to it as well. So
Duel Masters didn't have any type of leader thing.
you just had a 40 card deck, and the life was similar to. They had shields, which is similar to life. When you got hit, it went to your hand.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah, it sounds similar to the life mechanic. Yeah, I came from 5 competitive years of Yu-Gi-Oh, and in the more recent formats of Yu-Gi-Oh, I just got really kind of tired of it, because one thing that really lured me to this game was that Bandai is so good at communicating with the community, and you never hear anything from Konami. So like when something is broken in the game or people don't like something, they just Konami does nothing about it. You don't hear anything from them. They don't address the community, and a lot of times the community just like rolls over and plays whatever basically Konami prints that's broken. I actually like in this game how people voice their opinions when they don't like something. Like, you know, there's a lot of people that call it people whining and crybabies, and you know, I don't necessarily appreciate those opinions, but I do appreciate the people that voice up. Like, I'm one of those people, you know, that if I don't like something in the game, I'm going to talk about it. So, but now that we've gotten your background, so compared to the other card games you played, which you played several, how would you actually like define the quote unquote toxicity of the DBS community versus the other communities you've been a part of?
Well, like Facebook wasn't as big as it was now back then.
Right.
So, like not everybody was online. You know, to really be toxic, I think Facebook just does something to people. It just makes them, you know, kind of way. Because like all the people I've met through this game, I haven't disliked anyone. Like no one's been.
Dude, the people you meet in this game are amazing.
Yeah. So like, I guess it's just an online thing.
Yeah.
People acting toxic because.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of keyboard warriors, and like, I'm in college right now, and I'm taking a class on social media, and basically the underlining point is like how it brainwashes America. And like, if you go through Facebook and you see like all these videos of different political things, like people tear each other apart, and they don't care. They don't care at all. It's pretty crazy. And I think being on online forum has like just some psychological effect where you can say, I guess, whatever's on your mind or be a little more mean. But yeah, I don't know. I think in terms of like toxicity, I don't think the community is very toxic, at least compared to Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know. You know about Zodiac Duelist, right?
Yeah, I've heard horror stories.
Yeah, Zodiac Duelist is, at this point, it's known to just be a crap posting Facebook page where people, like, no one talks about Yu-Gi-Oh seriously there. Yu-Gi-Oh is actually very rarely the topic of conversation on that Facebook page. It's mostly just memes and crap talking and some crazy stuff like that.
I would hate for the community group to end up like that.
Yeah, and I think Aaron Anthony Abraham is doing a really great job of monitoring that. Everything is mostly Dragon Ball related, which is really good. There are, you know, some mean members of the community, but at the end of the day, I think the community is very, very good, and I think it's very aimed at helping each other, especially through a lot of great content creators. So I think that's a really good thing about it. But yeah, so basically, I wanted to do this podcast with you because we got on this topic with another member of the community about banning Censored Meaning, and of course, there was this whole thing about, oh my God, you guys just whine about everything. You want all the best cards to be banned and this and that. For the record, I was not on the train of banning Censored Meaning. I don't believe that was your intention either, right, Brandon?
No.
Yeah, so we weren't talking about banning Censored Meaning. I posted saying we need to get this card reprinted because this card, being a common from set 1 and being a staple in almost every single deck, it's at like $9 at this point, and it's such a barrier to entry for new players, and it's really, really rough because like, what do I need to play this game? The rest of it's relatively cheap. Your deck might like the whole main deck might be like $40-50, but then just Senzu Beans alone are $40 on their own. So yeah, I mean, what do you think about people that want Senzu Bean to be banned? What do you think about potentially banning Senzu Bean?
As far as banning Censored Meaning, while I do think it's one of the most powerful cards in the game and always will be, I don't think it needs a ban. But Censored Bean's existence allows them to print busted 1-drops like Bardock and Intensify and Power Trunk, in my opinion. So I'm okay with Censored Bean sticking around. If it ended up on the watch list, I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think that's going to be necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think Censored Bean is very fair in a lot of ways. Like, it requires you to have an energy up in order to use it. So the thing with unyielding trunks is that like you can play on curve in blue and still have energy up, which is really, really powerful. I'm not saying that unyielding should be banned in any way. I don't think it should be, but that's a really powerful thing about unyielding. Censored Meaning requires you to still quote unquote play a turn behind. It is very, very good in aggro because all these one drops do really impactful things, but it's also one of the best cards in combating aggro. Which I think the game desperately needs, at least at this point. I think with set 5 coming out, a lot of other answers are going to come out, like a lot of the color-specific negates, like Dimension Magic, and the green one with the Super 17 on it, I think are going to be really good at combating aggro, but...
Crisis Crusher is really good, too, if you play it against it. It's,
yeah.
pretty tough if you're trying to attack with a 1-drop, and you just can't.
Yeah, Crisis Crusher is really, really good, especially at stalling aggro. So I think that hopefully the need for Censored Meaning just falls off a lot. Like I think I've seen a lot of the set 5 wish leaders, some mono color like the Frieza in mono yellow, and a lot of decks just not really relying on Censored Meaning too much, which actually could be good for the game. But I actually really want Censored Meaning to get reprinted sooner rather than later.
I agree. Just because this game's pretty affordable compared to other card games I've played.
100%.
Well, I personally wouldn't mind dropping $9 on a playset of Censored Meanings and then just being done with it. That could hold a lot of people back from wanting to get into the game, especially competitively.
Yep.
When I played Pokemon, there was a barrier to entry as well. Shaman EX was a very powerful card. It could go in about 95% of decks. So you wanted 2 to 4 copies for, if you're going to be competitive. And the card started off at about $22.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's pretty high, but I was like, forget it, whatever. I just bought it.
Yeah.
And then the price like jumped up once they announced cash prizes and everyone started playing Pokemon. Like you needed Shaman to compete, so everyone bought it. Price went up to about like $60 a piece.
Right.
And that's a huge barrier to entry. And $9 is nowhere near $60, which I think is okay. But I think affordability being a part of this game is pretty important, and it doesn't feel good to spend $9 on a common card. So I can see them reprinting it in the future for that reason, in some kind of supplemental product, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
maybe whatever they decide.
Yeah, an event pack would be cool. Just the potential to get it foil. People have toyed with the idea of potentially just having set 1 completely reprinted, but like the way it is now with the ability to get foils, that would be super duper dope. But with Pokemon, I don't play Pokemon, but I have some friends that do, and Tapu Lele is also another like $50 card that's like a 2 or 3 F staple, right?
Yep.
And it's like $50 a piece, something like that.
$150 off the rip on just 3 cards.
Yeah, that's insane. I think there's a couple of things that people don't realize when they come into this game, especially if they didn't come from other card games. A lot of people don't realize that this is probably the cheapest competitive card game you can play. Like you can build Storm for dirt cheap. Like it's like the Bardocs are like 15s at this point, and the Gotens are I think 3s. Censored Beans are 9s, and then the rest of the deck I'm pretty sure is just commons and uncommons, which is super insane. Hercule, I think the only thing that costs more than $5 are the beans and the Demigrass Secret Rare. The rest of it I'm pretty sure is well, maybe the Goku Oobs are 5s, but still it's like incredibly cheap.
Yeah, like 120, which is that's a it's a sum of money, but it's not.
It is
too much to ask for like getting into a hobby, especially if you're trying to compete in tournaments. So like you can get any deck you want, even the best deck in the game. Like let's just say like Blue Yellow Storm's the best deck. You can get that for like 120.
Yep.
Just be ready to go, which I think is a really good thing.
Absolutely. And actually kind of counterpointing myself, my locals is very predominantly Yu-Gi-Oh, because I came from there. I played there for 5 years, and it's very predominantly Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm trying to get more people to play Dragon Ball. It is a struggle though, and I think they do realize that it is cheaper than Yu-Gi-Oh, but the fact that they're so invested into Yu-Gi-Oh already, I think is also kind of a barrier to entry, because at this point I'll gladly do it because I want more people to play this game that I love. I've opened up my common and my rare bulk, and I just donated it to the store. Like I just want people to take cards like that they would need, that they want, just to get into the game. So, and I have absolutely no problem with doing that. But yeah, I mean, ideally I want people to realize that this game is super affordable and super fun. I love the fact that Bandai is so open to the community and so willing to do things that we bring up as problems.
Yeah, I do like how they go out of their way to make sure that we are enjoying the game. Like you said, like Konami doesn't do anything about the game. If Bandai took that same approach, we'd still all be playing Mecha Freezer.
Oh yeah.
So, maybe if they listen, they might reprint Censored Meaning.
How big is your local scene usually?
Um, it's been hurt pretty bad by like Mecha Frieza and I guess just people having life stuff. So like typically we have about 8 people every week.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy to hear that the effects of Mecha Frieza are still lasting on your locals.
It's enough to run a tournament, but we used to have anywhere from like 16 and 20. So kind of sucks to see that happen, but you know.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's nice to have locals though. You get those tournament packs, and the experience of locals is just it's just so worth it. Like I love going to locals every weekend. There's actually, oh, go ahead.
People like it's a meta. Like people will change their deck to beat what they think other people are going to bring.
Yep.
And that's important to have.
Oh yeah, local meta is super involved and super fun. This is actually another interesting point. Did you see Aaron's post the other day about card games potentially being a dead medium?
Yes, I did.
What do you think about that?
I don't think it's dead. A lot of fans run card games like sales wise, and okay, if this game didn't have Dragon Ball backing it, I think it might be dead.
Right. Yeah, the name Dragon Ball is definitely carrying it a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And now it's a great game. That's what makes me stay for sure.
Right.
That's why I started playing. I'm not too big of a Dragon Ball anime fan, but I really like this game. So, but I think having this game online will boost its popularity tremendously. People will look for a game to play. They'll see this. They'll download it. They'll play it, and like, oh, it's real cards. I guess I can get those too. Find somewhere locally to play, and then it just takes off from there.
Do you think they need something other than just Octagon or Untap? Like, do you think Bandai needs its own type of thing?
Absolutely. They already have the tutorial mobile app.
Right.
Just expand it from there. They've already got the framework. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be cool. I think Octagon is a great system for playtesting. I prefer that one over Untap. But yeah, I mean, I think there's just something to be said for like the experience of like going to locals and going to regionals and whatnot. Like the thing too is I think card game companies will make infinitely more money off real cards than online cards, because unless they do it like Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links where you have to buy packs still online, all the cards are just going to be free, right? So at that point, like for online players, the only issue would be, okay, I don't have to leave my house, but you still have to buy cards and buy packs. So I think the real life experience of card games is worth it. Just meeting people, and like we said, everyone in this community that we've met has been awesome. I would very much hope that this game will continue to flourish, and I think that if we have a few good formats in a row and people keep hearing about that, I think it'll make a turn for the much better.
Agreed. I think Set 5 is the start of that. The start of something brand new. It's going to be wonderful. It's like, if you're thinking about getting into the game, now is the time to do it. Set 5 is just we're pretty much starting over. So, definitely consider joining. Set 5 is going to be amazing. Miraculous Revival.
Yeah, Set 5 is going to be super awesome. What decks are you looking forward to in Set 5?
Okay, so my pet deck, like the one for fun, Tiny Warrior Son Goku. I watched your video reviewing the leaders, and you said that it shouldn't be watched out for, and I agree. The leader shouldn't be watched out for, but it has the Super Saiyan 4.
Oh, the board wipe.
Yes.
The board wipe is insane. That's true.
It is very insane, and it kind of makes up for the leader being a little poor. I've been messing around with that deck a lot and having a blast. But for serious, I've been testing a lot of Shenron too.
Yeah.
With the Desire card, it's really powerful.
Yeah, that Shenron leader, like, it's so cool because you can really play like any main deck you want as long as you have that bomb card to just swing multiple times. But that leader is really, really solid. Yeah, actually, that board wipe for the Green Goku leader was something I kind of overlooked. I mean, I don't think the leader is still that amazing, just because its flip back over effect is a little bit underwhelming. but the fact that it does have access to that 5 drop board wipe is really solid.
And I just use Jimmy Gra since the ultimate's no good, so I just use Jimmy Gra instead of the ultimate.
Oh, totally. And that's a really really good combo. I mean, in a lot of decks that you don't want to flip back over, like even in the Frieza Wish deck, you sometimes like his ability to tap your opponent out is really good, but sometimes it just doesn't. It's not worth it. So dropping the Demigod there is super good too. And it's just so easy in those decks to get your Dragon Balls to grave. So it's just like perfect synergy right there. Really really cool.
What about you? What are you testing out?
So I have a weird thing. So I love Janemba. He's probably like my favorite villain in all of Dragon Ball. I'm a super Dragon Ball fanboy, by the way. So I love Janemba as a villain. I don't necessarily love the concept of a mill my opponent out deck, but I acknowledge it's very very strong because of all these decks that just want to blow their load and drawing crazy cards.
Definitely a check to the format, and I think Bandai knew what they were getting themselves into, so they made that Janemba leader.
Yeah. Absolutely, and I never played Magic competitively, but I know a lot of people enjoy Mill as a win con in Magic, so I guess they kind of took one out of that book. But it is a very cool leader. I like the main deck cards just because of the art and because of the ability. Like there's board clear and there's milling your opponent out, which is really solid. I really like the blue Gohan Witch leader as well. He can put crazy pressure on the opponent just with the Call of Justice restanding himself and unyielding to untap more energy. It gets really insane really fast. And Shenron leader is I like a lot. The black Shenron leader is really really solid as well. A lot of stuff to play with. Soul Striker actually, like one of the biggest cards I'm excited about for Soul Striker is the 4-drop Shenron because it's just more energy untapping and it's more critical in the deck, which sometimes that deck can lack. So I think that card is just perfect for Soul Striker.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, you got a pretty good point. Oh yeah, he'll make the leader 25 crit. Only.
He'll make the leader 25 crit. He'll make your turn to start back over because your leader will untap 2. He'll untap 2. That is definitely something I need to experiment with more. I don't know if it's gonna be mono blue or some other color. Speaking of which, what was your favorite deck you ever played in this game? Like throughout any format?
Blue green Soul Striker set.
Same, absolutely same. And I kind of thought you might say that. So what do you think about green right now? I feel like green is so I don't know if it's just underplayed or if it's just really not powerful right now. What do you think about it?
It's lacking. It doesn't have good options to defend it to be able to play on curve and still defend itself.
Yeah,
It's making good steps towards that with the sparking negate and the Infernal Villainy cell. That's a pretty good one.
yep.
Green just needs more ways to play on curve and still defend himself, and then I think they'll be on par with at least red.
Yeah.
I think blue and yellow is a bit above green and red, but I think they can make the right moves to balance that out a little bit.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I think green is probably the weakest color in the game right now, sadly. And I love green because I love board control and not in crazy amounts. Like I don't really like cell chain, but I do like a little bit of hand control. Like Annie Laza, I think is a really really well designed card. But Chain Zeno, like yeah, the tax effect, it's so solid. But my thing is like green really wants to build a board, and like you have a lot of big barrier cards, which is really good. But Chain Zeno just makes that all go away. So it makes it really hard for a blue-green deck to survive in this environment, in my opinion.
Yeah, like the discarding and the KO doesn't do enough.
Yeah.
Over the course of the game, if you get chain Zeno or cell chain, so I see definitely see what you mean.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's a question: what made you want to get into the content creating side of things?
I played Panini Dragon Ball Z as well, and I don't know. I just wanted to make some videos for it. Like the game just came out, and it was no battle videos on YouTube, so I just figured I would just record me and my friends playing, some people at locals playing, and then upload them to YouTube. And it got like, I don't have like 1,000 subscribers, but like, it was getting views and comments and stuff, and people wanted it, so um, I just started making more videos. And then when I started playing this game, I had my channel, and it got like all the Dragon Ball pictures and stuff on it, so I just started it back up again.
Nice, that's legit. Yeah, I mean it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. I have a good time. I need to start making more battle videos. Uh, that was like the main thing I wanted on my channel. So,
Yeah, just gameplay and showcasing a lot of your spicy decks. That's legit.
pretty much. So. What about you?
I don't know. It was weird. So, long story short, I'm from New Jersey. I go to college in Boston, but I went to school in California for a year. So when I went to school in California was when I really got into this game, and I was getting my friends in California involved in it. And I was playing at a Yu-Gi-Oh locals, but once I got into this game, I was able to get a lot of the players there to play Dragon Ball with me. And if you've seen the other podcast, like all those guys in the other podcast, they're the guys from California that I played with. And we were just playing, and this is like in the middle of set 2, like right before the draft boxes came out, is where we all really got into this game. And we're just playing and we're having a great time. And in set 2, I really felt like you can have just any solid deck concept you can have, you could put it together, and if it was like good in theory, it could do well. Like in set 2, we had like Zamasu topping events and like Goku Black topping events, and like chilled, like people wanted to play chilled, and there's like just so many cool decks you could play. And deck building is one of my favorite things about this game. I think it's just super creative, and I think now that SS3 is gone and Mecha Freeze is gone, I think we're back at a point where deck building can be very creative. So yeah, I mean, we were just coming up with all these crazy decks, and I was like, dude, I want to start making YouTube videos about this. I want to just get these ideas out there. So that was really cool. We got some gameplay out there because a lot of people were asking for gameplay, which actually those are really popular videos, gameplay videos. And yeah, I mean, I just wanted to be someone who could kind of just cover news in the game, cover events, get deck profiles out there, and it's been a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, like you're trying to like you got your name out there. Now you're repping Shenron's layer, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, actually, like I believe this, like everything happens for a reason. It's really crazy. When I was in California is where I met Marcus, who is the leader of Shenron's lair, because they're a team based in California. So I met most of them out there, and like I met Marcus. I went to an event. This is how much I freaking fell in love with this game, dude. I went to an event 4 hours away by myself just to play at a Crossworlds release event. I was like just so in love with the game. I was like, I need to play this game. I need to just do this. So I went 4 hours by myself to a game, and I met the Shenron team, and they were just so awesome. They just like welcomed me with open arms. They taught me pointers about the game. They invited me out to lunch with them, and like I just built a really good relationship with them. And then once they opened up, and I've stayed in touch with them like ever since I met them when I moved back to Boston. So yeah, like they opened up their applications to the East Coast team, and I got in touch with Marcus, and I was like, sent him my application, and it was great.
That's what's up, man. That's good to hear.
It was awesome. Yeah. You have a team, or are you thinking about making up a team anytime soon, or?
Nah, I'm not on a team. I mean, like I've only been to one regional,
Mm-hmm.
and like I want to go to more stuff, and I'm gonna try to do that. Like stuff that's on the East Coast, I'm gonna try to make it more event.
For sure.
Not really to get my name out there or anything, but I just want to prove to myself that I can do it.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll finish in Atlanta. It meant a lot to me, and it just encouraged me to keep going. So I'm just trying my best to be the best. That's all I'm gonna do.
There,
If I get picked up by somebody, then awesome. But
dude, earning that invite is it feels so good.
it does.
It feels really good. There is a team in Atlanta though, right? That's kind of popular, if I do recall correctly. You remember that week on the week leading up to the Atlanta regional, there was like these few guys that were just on the Facebook groups. They were like, free.
Yeah. I met Isaiah Herring.
Yeah.
He was the one talking all the junk and stuff. Yeah, I met him. He's cool. I figured he was part of a team, but I don't know the name of it.
Yeah, I could have sworn they were part of a team as well, but I don't remember the name either, unfortunately. But
there called Dabbers. That's where I was gonna go Saturday. I think they have a team.
Is that close to you, or is that kind of far?
Say that again.
Are they close to you, or is that kind of far, like a far drive or something?
It's like 2 hours away.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a trip. That's a trip.
It's better than 6 hours. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. Man, how far? I can't picture the map in my head. How far are you from Florida?
6 hours.
6 hours. So that's where like PPG would be, right?
Yep, I went to Orlando for Pokemon Regional. That was quite the job.
Yeah, I bet that's crazy. Pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I've done one cross country road trip in my life, and honestly, I don't want to do it again. Like all that driving, dude. Like we took like 8 hours at a time. Is long. 6 hours is a long trip.
Yeah, I can't focus on driving that long. I get bored.
Yeah. So how do you feel about kind of the bantering on Facebook in terms of like all that, like you're a free win, all this, like it's like playful, but it's like, you know, crap talking. How do you feel about it?
I'm cool with that. You know, competition. Like this game is about like competition. So, you know, like we talk smack to each other. It's all in good fun. It just makes the stakes higher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you're running your mouth and then you just end up getting too old, then it's just you just gotta come back harder next time. You know?
Yeah.
It's all in good fun. Like I know Anthony Hernandez. He brags a lot, and like I'm cool with that. Like I don't think it's obnoxious or anything. I don't take it personal. It's all in good fun to me. So I don't mind people doing it.
I feel that. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I feel sort of the same, but not really. Like I am all for playful banter, like especially amongst my friend group, right? Like when I'm at locals, I'm gonna be like, dude, I am gonna stomp your head in. Like this is gonna be so like, and it's just funny, right? You're laughing back and forth. But like when it's people you don't know necessarily, I feel like there's a bit of a line.
You gotta have some decency, you know.
Yeah, like the whole like the free thing, that got old really fast. Like one or two posts is like, okay, I get it. It's cool. You think you're gonna do good at Atlanta, but then it's like it is just every single post in my feed, and I was just like, dude, like I get it. You know.
And if he if he doesn't do good, then you get to talk smack back to him. If he was saying like if you say everyone's free, and then you don't do good, then you can come back at him like, you're free. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, no, I do. I do.
I ignore a lot of stuff in the group. Like you kind of have to do that to to not go crazy in there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like yeah, there's a lot of helpful community stuff which I like a lot. There is a lot of people that just want to rile up the community, sometimes in pretty negative, quote unquote, toxic ways. But honestly, like you said, like I played Yu-Gi-Oh for 5 years, and going to these events, I've never had as much fun as I did at a Yu-Gi-Oh event ever.
That's good to hear, man. Yeah, definitely. I've only been to one Dragon Ball event, but I had a blast, so it just makes me want to go to even more.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. You have an idea of what you're playing? You don't have to like reveal the spice or anything, but you think you have your deck for Nats pinned down yet?
I got a like general idea of what I want to do. I'm gonna play a deck that I think I'll be comfortable with, and try to find like a way to have my matchups be 50-50 at worst.
For sure.
Against the board, like I'll take a L to a random rogue deck because I'm not gonna face random rogue deck.
Yep.
So yeah, I try to make my chances as good as possible with the deck choice that I use.
For sure, dude. Nats format is gonna be so interesting because there's gonna be no data leading into it. It's literally a free for all.
This is the first tournament with Miraculous Survival Legal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's gonna be insane.
It's gonna be. I think that part of it is gonna be so much fun. Like, I wrote an article for Shenron's Lair about this, and it's like some people enjoy tier 0 formats, some people enjoy triangle formats, and some people enjoy free for alls. I personally love free for alls. I want to go to Nats and play against something different every round. It just keeps it exciting for me, you know.
It's crazy, like that's what happened to me in Atlanta.
Really?
8 rounds. I played against 6 different decks.
That's to me. That's awesome.
Yeah, Super Saiyan 3 band did it, man.
How do you feel about that? You like tier 0, triangle, or free for alls?
I'm okay with triangle, but I would prefer free for all. I'm gonna play this game no matter what.
Yep.
But definitely don't want a tier 0 format.
Yeah, absolutely. We hit one, arguably two, really early in the game's existence, and that like we said before is really hurtful. But I think we're on a good trajectory point for sure.
Agreed.
And if you love a game, you got to sit through the bad format sometimes.
Yeah, you do. It was worth it to me.
100%.
I had fun playing Mecha Frieza. I'm not gonna lie.
The mirrors were not that bad. Like I played a Mecha Frieza at San Jose because you had to play it realistically. The mirrors were skill intensive. It was just the fact that you couldn't play anything else, which got pretty boring pretty quick.
And that's kind of what we were leading up to with Super Saiyan 3 in the format.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were different, just like it was different Mecha Frieza decks, it's different Super Saiyan 3 decks, but it's all the same leader. So if that's not okay with the majority of the community, then But I think he needed to go anyway. So I guess it doesn't matter if how many people are playing him.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to go. He doesn't need to go. But I think he needed to go.
Absolutely. And this is actually another point that I kind of wrote about in the same article is there's deck diversity and there's leader diversity. Personally, I value leader diversity, which usually will come with deck diversity.
Yeah.
What
like you can't really play the same deck with a different leader because it's going to be one best deck with the leader. Like, how people kind of stopped playing Trunks.
Yep.
Storm after they figured out that River Storm was better.
Absolutely.
That's kind of deck diversity. What I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, that's a great example. And I 100% prefer deck diversity. Leader diversity over just deck diversity. Like if every single deck is playing SS3, I my opponent is gonna pull out their SS3 leader. I'm not gonna know what I'm playing against at all, and that's gonna be annoying. And then they still just get free energy every turn, which is just insane. Like that honestly, that leader took away a large skill cap from the community. You need to know when to make plays on certain turns and like how much energy you need to leave up for defense. That's all a very important part of playing this game, and SS3 kind of just took that all away.
That's kind of how it was during set 2, like before he came out. It's like the game now is how it was back then.
Yeah.
Having to defend yourself and know when to play cards and whatnot.
Absolutely. I'm looking at this deck in front of me. So, like I told you before, I opened up my commons and uncommons to my locals so that we can get more players involved. And I'm looking at this deck in front of me. There's 14 meta coolers in it, and there is Harudegarn leader, and it's just like you remember the Trunks Big Getty Star deck that was kind of popular in set 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, this kid that goes to my locals is just like, give me whatever you think will be good for meta cooler. And I was like, dude, I got you. Like so fun. Like locals is so fun.
Yeah, I think Trunks is a good choice for him.
Yeah, Trunks.
He's got like an actual good leader.
Yeah, no, the medical leader is bad, but the Harudegarn leader is actually really cool with it because it's just the same idea as Trunks, right? You just ditch them and you just draw 2. Should be a little bit nifty. I'm hoping I get because my locals only gets about like 5 to 6 every week, if that. So I'm really trying hard to get the game back up at my locals because when I was in California, apparently the game was really taking off at my locals back in Boston. But once I came back to Boston, I guess because Mecha Frieza and SS3, people just really died off.
Yeah, it's a shame, but hopefully we have a miraculous revival of the game at our local scene.
Yeah, absolutely. The demo decks hopefully will help out with that. Did you ever have a demo day at your locals for Dragon Ball?
We did not. I don't think we even got anything for that, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're gonna have our first one. When I think it's the first week of November is when the demo decks for Set 5 come out. So hopefully that also revitalizes a little bit of the community. But yeah, I mean, I hear about a lot of locals that just have like crazy turnouts, and it's super cool. I mean, a lot of players I talk to, even like across different parts of the U.S., like, you know who Danny Wynn is?
Yeah, I've seen him on Facebook, and I know he's played shot in a couple tournaments.
Yeah, so I was talking to him on another interview a couple weeks, like 2 weeks ago, and his locals in Connecticut died out as well. I just know too many sad stories of locals dying out, but hopefully, like the content creators can all come together to help that out. Hopefully, the game taking a good turn will help that out as well.
And like if I can do something on YouTube to like get people playing, I'm all for it.
Absolutely, dude, 100%. Any other talking points you want to hit before we wrap it up?
No, not really.
Yeah, I think we talked locals to death here. But Brandon, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It was awesome to get to talk to you. I've just had a lot of conversations with you on Facebook, and you seem like a real sensible guy, and I really got the gist of that from this conversation. So I appreciate it. Hopefully we can do more collabs in the future on different things. That'd be sick.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, dude. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I'm going to link Brandon's YouTube channel down in the description below, so make sure you hit that with a subscribe and a like. Definitely do that. I'm going to put the link to the Crossroad TCG Discord in the description as well, so make sure you join that. If you guys enjoy this video... What's up?
I'll hop in there now.
I appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely hit it with a like and a subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time.